Like this offense has ever found the rhythm you would hope for at all this season?
I just think it's been a different style than we all anticipated playing, and so just to consistently get into a groove hasn't been there. But I like the effort. I mean, we've had times where we moved the football and done some positive things. Guys are playing hard. We just haven't consistently played in a rhythm that we would have liked to.
When you come in the season with maybe envisioning the offense one way, can it be sometimes hard for you as a play caller coordinator to sometimes have to shift and realize you have to shift to maybe a different way to succeed or move the ball?
Yeah, I think that's always a challenge. That's part of being in this league, whether it's injuries or just other situations that arise. You got to be able to adapt and adjust and try to find ways to win games ultimately, regardless of stats or anything of that nature. And so yeah, it's been a challenge. But like I said, I've been really appreciative of our players' effort, their buy-in. They showed up every week, worked really hard. It just hasn't gone our way on some of these games this year.
How does this week of preparation change for you when it's kind of unclear who's going to be playing quarterback and you're already working with a short week of practice?
Yeah, that makes it tough. It's a challenging week when you play on a short week regardless, and then not knowing exactly who's going to be out there. We really just focus on us and concepts that we're comfortable with and have done. And I think that's the biggest deal, is making sure that whoever is playing has a game plan they feel very confident in, have booked reps on it at some point in the season or in training camp, and can go out there and execute at a high level on a short week.
Quinn talks a lot about players' superpowers. If you end up starting with Josh Johnson this week, what is his kind of superpower that makes you feel comfortable in his ability to run the offense?
Yeah, I think, just his football mind, having played in so many different systems and booked so many different reps in different games in different spaces, and having to come in and play in championship games without getting reps. I think all those things have allowed him to play with a really calm mind. He's a very accurate player, and the ball tends to go to the right spot when he's in there.
Sticking with the quarterbacks, I know you guys are obviously familiar with Driscoll, but in situations where you bring in guys like an emergency, what is your process on trying to get them up to speed, especially at that position?
Yeah, luckily with him, having been here last year, it's a little bit of a great saving grace for us. He has a good knowledge of our base stuff and how to operate it, and so really just giving him, hey, here's the concepts I'm thinking if you need to play, and you show me the ones you're really comfortable with, and we'll take out the ones you're not. And so it's been a lot easier that way than having somebody who's foreign to the system.
Sort of a follow-up to what John was asking, with so many injuries and no rhythm and things like that, does that change how you think you're going to do whatever self-evaluation you do after this season when you go back and look at games? Like, how do you compare it when you didn't have all the pieces that you were looking for?
Yeah, that's tough. I think you just have to focus on fundamentals, techniques, details, style of play, things of that nature, more than actual scheme, because the scheme isn't exactly what I anticipated us looking like, to start the year and how I thought we'd be playing football. But this is where we're at, and there's definitely areas that we can improve, and the details and the operation and things of that nature. I think that's what you got to focus on, how you can be better in that throughout the spring and going into training camp next year.
And to get ahead of a question we're going to ask you at some point, obviously last year your name came up in various head coaching situations, but you focused on the playoffs. Where are you at now once you get to the offseason here in terms of thinking? Is that something you still would like to pursue?
Yeah, we'll see how that plays out. But, today just trying to get one of these quarterbacks ready to play on a short week.
What went into the decision for Jeff Driscoll versus Sam Hartman? And I guess, what are your thoughts on Sam Hartman, and why would he not get this opportunity? Yeah,
Sam's done a great job. I think just having a guy on a short week, particularly that's played in NFL games before, is comfortable with our system, was really why that we felt good about bringing him in. The way we've had the quarterback injuries, we wanted another body, a guy who's played, and that was really it. I don't think it'd be fair, to ask Sam to start on a short week, having not getting many reps where you're not going to get live reps going into a game. And I think that is what it came down to.
Back to Josh for a second. Sounds like you're familiar with his journey. It's been kind of unusual, 14 different teams. Just your thoughts on that journey and how it's maybe shaped him as a player.
Yeah, he's really unflappable. I was a guy that bounced around a little bit, not to that extent, and I wasn't as good as he is. But I think just listening to the different coaches when he tells stories of the different coaches he's worked with, the different schemes he's played in. I mean, he has such a wealth of football knowledge, and there's not a situation as a quarterback that he hasn't been in. And so I think when you're coaching him and you're talking through different concepts, he has thoughts on it. He's been in it before. It may have been called 8 different names and different systems he's played in, but he's probably repped it in a game at a time or two. And so that makes it fun for me to just kind of be on that journey with him after it's been 20 years of learning and being coached. All right, y'all have a Merry Christmas. Thank y'all.